What's up, Barnhill family? Welcome back to the channel.
Yo.
So one for the fans coming up this weekend. We got Brad Riddell, Rafael Fiziev.
Yeah.
If you like striking, this is the fight for you. If you like to see action from bell to bell, this is the fight for you.
Yep.
The odds makers have this essentially as a pick'em. We saw Brad Riddell put on one of the most amazing performances this year. Rafael Fiziev, Bobby Green was also one of my favorite fights of 2021. Yep. I cannot stress to you how excited I am for this fight.
Yeah, and the common denominator for these exciting fights seems to be Rafael Fiziev.
Yeah.
But you also have to throw Brad Riddell in there because every time he gets in, it's really exciting. Every time Rafael Fiziev gets in, super exciting. And I still, believe it or not, have some friends that aren't into MMA or they don't really know anything about it. They don't know what it stands for. So when I do get my chance to showcase them to the world of mixed martial arts or bring them in and shine some light, I love when Rafael Fiziev's fighting because that means I'm going to give a good showing and they're going to be like, okay, I can see why you're obsessed with this, why you have a podcast surrounding it, and why you let this thing basically overflow in your entire life. So I'm really excited for this one. Hopefully this will turn some new folks into fans. And this one's actually pretty interesting because we've got two Muay Thai studs going in there. And I think as of the when you're talking about strictly striking, these are two of the best strikers in the lightweight division, which everybody knows is the most difficult division, the toughest, most competitive division in all of sports.
Yeah, you certainly could make an argument that these are two of the top guys at 155 as far as striking goes. Also, they're both incredibly strong, bodied up. I mean, both of them can take a punch, as we saw in both of their last fights. Bobby Green hit Fiziev with some really clean shots. Drew Dober got off some amazing shots. Drew Dober's a bit more of a brawler than Brad Riddell is, and I think that's why you're going to see the Fiziev-Riddell fight be a very technical, calculated matchup, but a lot of volume coming from both sides. Yeah. This fight, I mean, for all intents and purposes, this could be a Muay Thai fight. They could come out with the short shorts, even shorter than some of the ones you wear sometimes, and a headband on to the Thai music, and I would be just fine with that. But I think that this is going to really possibly be fight of the night, maybe even fight of the year. I don't want to oversell it just yet because we've jinxed ourselves before, right? With Lewis and Ngannou. There's been a few times where we were just like, there's no way this fight could suck, and then it sucks. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I can't imagine this one being anything but spectacular. Personally, I'm leaning towards Fiziev. I just think he's a tad sharper in every aspect than Brad Riddell. But when I say a tad, I mean a couple of percentage points better everywhere. And I think that's going to be what makes the difference. And I think he's going to win by decision. Yeah,
that's the thing is these guys are both so technical and so good and they're competitive. I think Rafael Fiziev probably has the best Muay Thai in MMA right now, unless you're talking about Peter Yan or Israel Adesanya, but he's more of a hybrid striker. We're talking about pure Muay Thai and just the way the art of 8 limbs. Nobody really does it quite like Fiziev and I would say Peter Yan. I mean, for God's sakes, the guy's a coach at one of the best, most prestigious Muay Thai schools in all of Thailand.
Right. One that Yan has trained at.
Right. So when you get that kind of respect from the people, the traditional Thai fighters and the legends that live over there, you know you're doing something right. I can't wait to see how this plays out. And one thing I wish they would have done is thrown Drew Dober and Bobby Green on this same card.
Oh, wow.
The two losers have a shot at each other because I feel like those two were great components and vital components to having those two amazing fights that these guys both just came off of. And maybe it would be even more exciting to see those two go after it. It would be a lot of fun. But I do see both of these guys taking this all the way to the distance. They're both too damn tough to finish for either one. And I think that because they're calculated strikers, they're going to score their points, they're going to get off, and they're going to just try to see who can win 2 out of the 3 rounds because I do see it going back and forth.
Yeah, I see it 29-28 for Fiziev. And I think barring some just really well-timed switch kick to the head or spinning back fist or something like that just catches Riddell off guard and just would knock out a mule. Right. I think barring something like that, we're going to see a really tough fight all the way down to the wire. And I mean, like, I would have loved to seen Bobby Green, but he just sent Al Iaquinta into retirement. Right. You know what I mean? Bobby Green is the real deal. Make no mistake about it. He finished a guy that Khabib didn't finish. So the fact that Fiziev was able to beat him in a very close fight, And also on top of that, Fiziev, we all know how good his Muay Thai is and the fact that he's a coach at Tiger Muay Thai, but he's also becoming a very well-rounded mixed martial artist. You know, there at that camp, they have the Hickman brothers, so he spent a lot of time wrestling with those guys and doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think that camp in Thailand, maybe better than any other camp in Thailand, has put the right pieces in place to turn some of these incredible Thai fighters into incredible mixed martial artists. We know that Israel Adesanya has been over there. Dan Hooker has been over there. It's a really, really high-level gym. And don't sleep on Fiziev's grappling skills. He's a very strong guy, and his grappling is getting better.
Very good. And he's actually in the right place right now, you know, with all the travel restrictions and the way that you have some more obstacles and hoops to jump through these days when you're talking about jumping from country to country. And it's become a little bit more difficult just for reasons out of MMA fighters' control. He's actually found a new home in Sanford MMA, right, where he's kind of stationed right now. You know, he's obviously still got deep ties to Thailand and to Russia and all of that. But I feel like he's in one of the best rooms you can possibly be in. He's got some great wrestlers right over there at Sanford MMA that are probably helping him get ready in exchange for some awesome Muay Thai lessons and some striking. So I think he is really rounding out his game. And if he's able to do what Israel Adesanya did, which was get just good enough with the takedown defense to make a fight stay on the feet, he's a lot of trouble for a lot of people at 155 because 155 is so stacked. But I would have to say that almost everybody down there is really good at everything. And we've got our specialists, right?
Yeah.
We've got our Islams. We've got people like that are really good at one certain thing. But everybody's good everywhere. And if you are able to keep one of those guys standing and trading with you, and you have the advantage that Rafael Fiziev, in my opinion, has over everybody in the division, then it's a lot of trouble for them. And so I would like to see him kind of rise. And that's why I'm leaning towards him to win this fight. I think Brad Riddell has a lot of potential in this sport. I think there's a ton of fun fights for him to have. But at this current stage of the UFC and the lightweight division and their careers, I see Rafael Fiziev getting his hand raised.
Yeah, and Henry Hooft is a great guy when you have the skill set that Rafael Fiziev has to be sort of your mentor as of right now. And as you said, we know he's got a lot of the ties to Tiger. He was a coach there at one point. But Sanford MMA is a perfect home for him because he's got an incredible kickboxing mind overseeing him. And he's got great wrestlers and grapplers to go with every day. So I'm excited to see the evolvement of Fiziev's game because I'm with you. If this guy has decent takedown defense and it can get better, then it's going to be a scary road for some of the people at the top of 155 because I don't think anybody, and I mean anybody, at 155 wants to engage in a kickboxing match, maybe other than Brad Riddell, with Rafael Fiziev. And depending on how this fight turns out, this could be a big coming out party for him, and he may get himself a top 5 opponent after this, which I would love.
Yeah, and he's on the co-main spot for a reason. People like what they see when they watch him fight. Brad Riddell, same thing can be said for him. They're can't miss TV. And like I said, if you are a fan of MMA and you've got friends that you're trying to turn into fans, show them this fight because they're going to be impressed. They're likely going to love what they see. You know, it's not going to be a grappling fest. It's not going to be a lay down and hug fest. It's going to be a stand-up striking extravaganza between two elite level Muay Thai strikers. And it has all the ingredients for an amazing fight recipe. So let's see it happen.
I can't wait. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Drop us a comment and let us know who wins this fight, Rafael Fiziev or Brad Riddell. We always love chatting with you guys in the comments, and if you haven't smashed that like button, please do so now. It helps us out with the algorithm, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you enjoy the content, we always appreciate that as well. Until the next one, have a wonderful day.
Peace.